Almost 40 years in these markets, from futures to stocks to ETFs to Forex, one of the things that still surprises me is how many traders analyze price without ever asking another important question. Not where price is going. Prediction was never what trading was about, but rather, where are the largest number of trades sitting right now, and are they underwater and in pain, or are they profitable and comfortable? Because that question changes everything. Pain moves markets. Comfort, profitability, it offers patience, stagnation. When you start reading the market through the lens of positioning, who's losing and who's winning, a whole layer of price behavior that used to feel invisible or even random starts to become visible and makes sense. Today, let's talk about a tool that's been part of my trading for, 18 years, since 2008. Not because it's complicated. In fact, it's free on many platforms, and it's one of the simplest things that I use. It gives you a clear window into where people are positioned and how likely that is to influence what happens next. It's the Anchored Volume Weighted Average Price, or the AVWAP. And specifically, we'll talk about how I use it in a way that most retail traders are never taught. Here's the problem with resetting a volume weighted average price every day. Most traders who use a VWAP are using the standard version. Let's call it the unanchored version, the volume weighted average price for the current trading session. And it's a legitimate tool. Intraday, it tells you a lot about the trend and where buyers and sellers have control on that specific day. But here's what I've noticed decades ago. The market does not reset every morning at 9:30. People who bought a stock on an earnings catalyst 3 weeks ago might still be in that position. People who chased a breakout last month are either sitting in profit or they're sitting underwater. Their psychology and their pressure, their likely behavior is still active in the market, even though the VWAP has reset many, many times since then. That's the standard VWAP, or the unanchored VWAP. The standard VWAP cannot show you what's happening now versus the reactions prior. It's a single day memory. And for most significant events, a single day is not enough context. I've watched traders get that right intraday and then completely miss a different level of participation because they're only looking at a tool that forgets everything at midnight. The anchored VWAP fills the data in a way like nothing else can. So what an anchored VWAP actually does, anchored VWAP, volume weighted average price, is the same calculation as the standard VWAP, volume weighted average price. The big difference is that instead of starting the calculation at the open of today's session, you pick the starting point. You anchor it to a specific moment that mattered. From that moment forward, the line shows you the average price that all volume is transacted at. Every share that traded, weighted by volume, average from your anchor date to where we are right now. What that gives you is a picture of the average cost basis for two holders of the stock or the futures contract who came in around that event. People above that line are probably profitable. They feel okay. They're not panicking. They're patient. People below that line, they're probably underwater, unprofitable, scared. And people who are underwater behave very differently. They get nervous. They sell into rallies to get out flat, to stop the pain. Often they're creating that overhead supply or selling that price has to work through. I've seen that dynamic play out so many times that when I pull up an anchored VWAP and price is sitting below it, I immediately start thinking about that supply overhead. Where is the pain? When I see price sitting above it, I start thinking about which side has the psychological advantage right now. It's really just a visual representation of psychology, because psychology is rooted in where are the most traders in the market. Having the visual makes it actionable in a way that trying to estimate it or guess about it in your head can never be. Remember, we want to be data-driven as traders. Okay, where do you set the anchor? Because this is the part that matters more than anything. The tool itself is really straightforward. What separates traders who use it well, call it accurately, from traders who get noise from it or inaccurate is where you anchor it. Not every day is worth anchoring to. Not every event reshapes positioning in a meaningful way. The days that matter are the ones that generated the kind of volume that moves a lot of shares from old hands to new hands. Those are days that redefined who owns the stock and at what price. Okay, so what are those events? Earnings releases are obvious ones. Major news catalysts. The FOMC If you're trading, say, a biotech stock, it could be an FDA decision. If you're trading a Mag 7, it might be a product release or an update, some sort of deal that attracts attention. It could be the end of quarter because there's rebalancing there. So there are very set times where it's easy to anchor that VWAP. And what they have in common are days where volume explodes because participants are repositioning rapidly. There's a new bit of news or information and they're transacting. Capitulation lows where sellers exhaust themselves and buyers step in aggressively. Think back to the pandemic lows of 2020 in late March. Key breakout days when a stock that's been stuck finally clears a level. Maybe it's a new all-time high. Maybe it's a new one-year high, and that level could have been acting as resistance for months. Those are the anchor points that carry weight because they carry, you guessed it, attention. Those are events that created the current population of holders. I'm generally less interested in time-based anchors except for when I'm using an intraday chart where I like to anchor to 7 a.m. Eastern. So if I'm day trading on a 5-minute chart, that is my anchor. I also like to keep an anchor on the first trading day of the year. So those are minimums where I can add more VWAPs so I can get context. Remember, you can anchor multiple VWAPs, and those would be 2 staples on every one of my charts. And then I can add things like end of quarter or rebalancing. Maybe it's the day that a stock was added to the NASDAQ or the S&P. Those can matter a lot for funds managing to benchmarks over longer time frames. But for the way that I trade, and for frankly most of the retail trading public that I work with, fundamental and price-based events are going to give you an edge in reliable anchors. So again, make sure you have some staples, like the 7 a.m. anchor for a 5-minute chart and the first trading day of the year on the daily chart. But from there, you're going to get an edge in some of these more specific additional anchors. One thing I've noticed over the years is this. The best anchor points tend to be days where either the most fearful or the most euphoric action occurred. And those are days that created sometimes the sharpest repositioning. And sharp repositioning leaves the clearest psychological footprint going forward. After all, that's what we're measuring. One thing to remember is we want to use the tool as a filter and not a standalone level. This is where I see most traders going wrong with an anchored VWAP. They start treating the line as the exact entry or exit point. Price touches the anchored VWAP, so they buy. Price crosses below, so they sell. They're reacting to the line as though it is a hard level, and it's not. Let me mention this. Up until about 5 years ago, the anchored volume-weighted average price wasn't all that common. In fact, a lot of brokerages used that level to fill those great big orders for clients, and it was almost like a well-kept secret. Very few retail traders were watching it. In the last 5 years, that's changed because now the anchored volume-weighted average price, or even the VWAP, are commonly available on a lot of retail platforms. So institutions had to adapt. The only edge they have is making sure that liquidity is going to be available. And if they're buyers, they need sellers. And if they're sellers, they need buyers. So having obvious levels, like the way they use the anchored volume-weighted average price, isn't necessarily giving them the edge. And if you treat it that way, the way that probably it was working 5 years ago plus, you're going to get chopped up. So here's the way I use the anchored volume-weighted average price, and here's how you can do the same thing. One of the tools that I discovered during 2008 was to run what's known as a Z-score on the volume-weighted average price. In other words, I was looking at standard deviations. If an institution wants to buy the anchored volume-weighted average price, and they know that a lot of people might be looking at that same level, they'll find a level above or below. And their previous action based on size will leave clues. And that's what the V-score does. So if you're unfamiliar with it, I'll do a video on that in the near future to show you how I've adapted to this very powerful tool. But back to the way I use the VWAP, the anchored VWAP. It's telling us which side of the trade we want to be on, not when to pull the trigger. So if price is above the anchored VWAP, I'm generally bullish. If it's below, I'm generally bearish. And those are 2 very different types of positioning. So a simple rule I have applied for a really long time is I don't want to short a stock that's holding above the anchored volume-weighted price unless I'm seeing clear capitulation, which is rare. That's top picking. And I don't want to go long a stock sitting below the anchored volume-weighted average price, again, without the same condition. So one way you can think about the VWAP once it's anchored is it's almost like an equator separating the bullish hemisphere from the bearish hemisphere. Why does this work? Because if price is above the anchored volume weighted average price, the average holder since that key event is in profit. Shorting into a population of profitable traders means you're fighting against people who have no reason to panic. You're swimming upstream. That's a low probability trade most of the time. So flip it around. If price is below the anchored volume weighted average price, buyers from that event are underwater. They're a potential source of selling pressure every time it bounces. Going long into that overhead supply without a clear reason to believe the supply has been absorbed is another low probability trade. However, using that exit where the traders underwater are buying back their positions does afford a bearish trader to sell. The rule does not generate trades in and of itself. It filters out the ones that put you on the wrong side of psychology. And after multiple decades in this market, I can tell you that filtering bad trades matters more than finding new ones. I look for reasons to not take a trade, not to take a trade. Here's where capitulation changes everything. Capitulation is the exception that opens the door. Capitulation is giving up, right? When a stock has been in a clear trend and you see a day where the trend exhausts itself, where the sellers have pushed price aggressively lower, typically on high volume, and then buyers absorb everything and close the session strong, that's capitulation. That's the market saying supply has been met. When I see that, re-anchor the VWAP to that day, to that session, because that day just redefined positioning. A new population of holders came in at that price. The question going forward is whether price can hold above that anchor. Can it stay above the equator? And if it can, the new holders are in profit. The prior sellers who drove the decline are now in cash or short, and every day price holds above that anchor makes their position less and less comfortable. That creates the condition for a sustained move, because within that, you'll get these short squeezes. If price cannot hold above that new anchored VWAP, it tells me buying on that capitulation day did not represent real conviction. One cool tool you can help identify not just price-based supply and demand or price-based support and resistance, like an anchored volume weighted average price or even volume profile, is on TradingView. There's a cool feature called volume candles. And I always have these volume candles operating because on a low volume day, the candle will be narrow. And on a high volume day, it'll be wide. So what we're looking to find out is whether supply was absorbed or not. Is the selling pressure still there, or is there buying support? And if I cannot discern this clearly, I'm going to stay out. Now, once you've seen this pattern across equities and futures for decades, as I have, you start to develop a lot of confidence in it. Of course, it's not a guarantee of anything. Nothing in trading is, but we play a probabilistic game. We are trying to look at a structural repeating pattern that we can identify and then enter the market and manage risk. For this type of approach, we're reading whether the positioning has actually shifted or whether the market's just pausing before it continues in the prior direction. Now, the difference could often be whether a market was trending when this high volume candle happened or whether it was choppy. Trends tend to continue after a pullback. So think about a stock that took a catastrophic news hit. It could be, investigations, fraud, whatever, right? A product that just missed or a delay in the release. That kind of news can create panic selling on massive volume. Maybe there was a brokerage downgrade. And oftentimes there'll be significant volume on a day like that. And you'll often see a hard drop. This is where you want to see that volume candle. Was it narrow? Was it wide? Was it low volume or big volume? And did it close well off the lows? Did buyers step in? That can be your anchor if it's a high volume day. A lot of times people see a large candle and they don't think about the participation behind it, and they'll inaccurately anchor. So make sure there was high volume on that day. A lot of times chaos alone does not mean that events should be a reference point. Okay, so think about a stock that's been running on pure euphoria, and you're listing a high short interest, momentum driven, news driven, no clear fundamental support, but price is relentless. An anchored VWAP anchored to the IPO day or to a major breakout day or to earnings tells you where the average buyer is sitting. As long as price holds above it, you stay out of the short, even if it feels like it wants to roll over. The day price breaks down hard and capitulates, that's when the anchored volume weighted average price from that event becomes your new reference. Remember, if this is happening in a trend, pullbacks do tend to elicit this, oh my gosh, it's on sale type buying. That's why we call it buy the dip. The anchored volume weighted average price is one of those tools that seem really simple until you start seeing how many layers it can open up. The idea is simple. Using it properly and accurately, well, it's not magic. It doesn't predict, but if you can hone in on some of these points in this video, you can make it a whole lot more effective. Look, nothing predicts, and anyone telling you otherwise is just trying to sell you something, right? What it does give you is a clear visual of where the psychology of the market sits right now relative to a moment that mattered. So why am I sharing this with you? Because it doesn't hurt me at all. We already have a high volume area. Institutions are moving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. Sharing this with other retail traders isn't going to make it any less effective. So give it a try. Remember that buyers above the VWAP are comfortable. Buyers below are under pressure. You can structure rules around that. For example, as I mentioned before, I'm not going to be a buyer with price action below the anchored volume weighted average price. Now, the exception to that would be my V-score, where sometimes when I know institutions are playing games and they don't want to participate at the anchored volume weighted average price, they might be using a standard deviation. We'll talk about that in a future video. In the meantime, you can filter out trades that put you on the probabilistic wrong side of that large positioning. And over time, that kind of discipline compounds in ways that are genuinely really hard to underestimate. If you want to start somewhere practical, pull up a chart of something you've been watching. Find a day in the last few months where something significant happened. Look for that wide volume candle. That could be, again, a big earnings move, end of quarter, a news catalyst. Anchor the VWAP there. Look at where price is sitting relative to that line right now and ask yourself who's comfortable and who's uncomfortable, who's winning and who's losing, who's up, who's down. Just start there. You do not need to trade off it immediately. Just start building the habit of reading the positioning before you read anything else. And if you've already been working with an anchored volume weighted average price, I'm curious what anchor points you find most useful. That kind of real experience shared helps us all grow as traders, and the comment is genuinely useful, and I appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next video.